Alright, so we are good to go with game number 1 of the quarterfinals here. And well, at the very bottom, we right now have a spawn of PK, that's TVB. And well, he seems to be on the left side, so this is not a pocket in the corner, looking at where the other players are positioned. And he is right now going for an economic guild, seeing the zebras here, just a foursome. And he will be going for the hunting dogs as soon as he can, which he right now is. He also sees the chickens right at the left side, so he knows where they are and sent in his oracles in all the three ways that he can scout right now. He doesn't need to really send anything at the back because he could use just some goats like he is right now doing with this right group, employing them in some scouting here, and well, otherwise he just leaving one of those oracles at the left, trying to see what's around the TC, and this one is probably going for some hunt because he is aiming for the enemy Eisenstange. And well, on the right, he has already discovered where the extra giraffes are, but at this point, I'm not all too sure if it's TVBs or 7-ups, so they will have to do quite a lot of extra scouting to be sure that they are not stealing each other's hunt. This leads us to 7-up, who is in the pocket, seeing the chicken quite nicely, also having economic guild, and I would guess the hunting dogs as well. Yep, here they are, and also quite nice foursome, and he is at this point not really going for an offensive scouting all that much. He is just going onto the sides with both of them, but these two guys are just now proving me wrong, and he's going into the middle of the map, and we see that this is a 2 Oasis map. So we should be seeing some very nice wall inside the middle in the darkness here, which is not going to be darkness for too long. This one giraffe at this point seems to be kind of alone, which is slightly curious. And I would maybe think that there could be some others in the darkness here, as it would be highly unusual to have a solitude, or rather solitary giraffe at this point, but we'll see pretty soon, I guess. The last to have a look at right now is Icy Paul, the Loki for PKs, and well, he's already having researched pickaxe pretty soon together with hunting dogs, so he is going for some nice echo, and well, Loki is probably going to do his standard stuff, and that means double temple and whatnot raiding with the Hersirs. He's already been scouted by swoopde, who is having all three oracles basically inside or around Blue's base, having a pretty good line of sight. Right now stealing some goats that weren't protected well enough for 7-up, and well, he will be having quite a good line of sight on everything that Icipol is doing, and he will be probably quite aggressive on him. Zonharanos already having a temple, which is pretty soon, 2.5 minutes, but well, he doesn't really mind at this point, and since he wasn't going for economic guild, it seems, yeah, he wasn't, I've not really seen it anywhere, he should be having some early advance here, and probably will be fighting alone, because Swiss Boy as a pocket, which is kinda lucky, having Ra as a pocket, might be helping on the left because Sir Eisenstange is quite closer to him and might be needing some extra help from him if the early battles don't go well. Eisenstange is right now dropping a temple, but he was playing with the economic guild, so also having hunting dogs, and well, TVB is going very aggressively for the scouting, positioning this oracle pretty much the closest that he can to avoid TC fire, but well, within range of the towers here. So that's pretty gutsy and funny at the same time. Already moving to the back hunt with the giraffes, and what's this relic? Cheaper Secrets of the Titans. Well, that's not half bad, especially considering that it's behind Eisenstange, as Attis, especially Oranosis, go for some early Titan gates themselves pretty often, and that's cheaper myth units, not half bad, that could help anybody in this map, and some other relic here on the right side, that's Hypaspis, Chair, Ballista and whatnot, and here we have a confirmation that swoopde was going for a very fast advance, and sub 4 advance is definitely very fast one. Right now we have just heard that the Promethean has been killed to supply some faster units for the scouting, and counter barracks times 2 are being built right inside the base, so he'll be very fast to attack on his opponent. Icipol is doing the standard for Loki, the standard double temple, already 40% into 4 city, but still he will be damn slow as he will be under attack pretty soon from Icipol. I'm just right now looking if somebody has already the spy No, they don't. But we see that all the Oranoses are right now advancing pretty much one after the other. And well, we'll see how the first battles are going to develop. Right now, this is a pretty nice line of sight for Eisenstange, who will know what's coming for him pretty soon. But he should be careful if he wants to cast Valor on them, so that he doesn't lose them needlessly, as the Promethean is already moving in. And Trial of Help for monkeys. Well, not really all that great, but it could really help in uh, basically the early 1v1 fights. It could help defend or even attack, so it's not really all that great, but it could make all the difference in some even battles. Classic Rage for Icy Pole and otherwise on the middle, but that's soon going to close because it's being used by both red and blue. So yeah, Teal has to really hurry up, and right now he is kind of a bit too late, and at the same time though he's doing, or rather going at the very right spot, and those two harassers with proper micro on this troll might be enough. Yeah, right now Icy Pole signaling what's going on here, and that they need to be careful, but he already has enough harassers, so the advantage of the very fast advance is not really all that strong, because he's going for all turmas, and he hopes swoop DE that he can somehow disrupt the economy, which is so far not happening, and he's just dealing like 1 damage to those harassers, which is not good enough, and I think he should switch from fighting the army into actual Radiant here. He's being helped Icy Pole by 7-up SL, so that means that the Radiant will be pretty much stopped. And yeah, it seems to be that the Ra is not really going for some classical fight yet. And he will be going for 2TC fast heroic, which was maybe kind of expected as he was playing in the pocket, and it will mean that on the right side, Swoop DE will have to somehow defend until the Swiss boy advances into heroic, and on the left, Eisenstange pretty much the same. Eisenstange though seems to be doing pretty well against TVB, who isn't having quite the same army. Just now sending some extra reinforcements, but that's still not enough, and here we see some shift in sense, and that was okay, that was kind of fast transport of Pharaoh together with some extra villies to help with some classical fighting on the right side, because Frost are right now recognizing that they will be under some heavy double pretty soon, and that's pretty much a very good assumption because Subdi is still continuing with just Turmas, and he will need some Axemen. Not really Spearman, Axemen would be a lot better, but still, Spearman won't be bad either. A bit of a raid in here going on from TVB on the left, who is trying to somehow put Eisenstange in a bad position, but he is having pretty good advantage in numbers, and it's, I think, just a question of time before he is able to push Purple back inside his base. In the meantime, Icy Pole is doing quite well with Wallin altogether. Right now, try to condense or rather contain Sub DE on the right side so that he isn't moving anywhere else. Right now, having a pretty nice attack here on those cities. I'm not exactly sure what they were doing here, because there's absolutely nothing. Maybe they just finished some hunt, possibly. Oh yeah, yeah, it is a gazelle, so they were here. And well, that resulted in more or less nothing, but at least one that really here we see, and that's pretty much it. They right now have to retreat, because this is definitely not the fight that they can take. And well, let's see if some offensive is really going to go up from the right side, because right now it seems like 7-up SL isn't having that much of an army, because he's switching into land, into second and third TC. And it almost seems like that PKs are not really interested in that much of an offensive. Right now they are just trying to keep their opponents busy and think that they are going for a classical fight, which they aren't really. Just Icy Pole is the one who is. And right now that was one mythical spawn, and he seems that there is not going to be any other. And he just left the relic there. He could have picked it up and taken home. I'm still missing some big walls inside the middle, because they are really crucial on this map. And well, on the left, it seems like 7-up is kinda abandoning the right side and is interested in raiding his opponent's Boy, the other pocket, and trying to force him off gold, which is not a bad idea, because Swissboy doesn't have anything here, and yellow is pretty much paying attention just to purple, and only now moving with all his army onto the left, and it's kinda an overkill here. He might have wanted to split it a bit, so that he is right now able to defend against this, which is going to find some release, I think, maybe this one. The Swiss boy is at decent time into Hathor at 9 minutes, and the battle on the right is still doing decently well for Icipool, I would have to say, because right now he's fighting against two players, but look in how Swoop DE is having just Turmas, which have like, yeah, kind of funny attack. They're not really doing enough damage, and it means that Icipool is right now hoping that those Murmilos don't really make up the majority of Swoop DE's army. Right now I'm just going to check around if maybe somebody else is going into Heroic Armory up for Loki. So that means that he is definitely thinking about it. And 7-up SL right now, he's just into booming, so he is not interested in Heroic just yet. And well, TVB though is at second TC and already 50% into Thea. And he's doing just a bit of raid in here, and he isn't attacked at all, because right now 7-up SL is doing his job and basically keeping Eisenstange busy, and even though he's right now, I'm pretty sure, having a popped limit, he is not really all that dangerous, because he's contained in his base, just defending and trying to capture second DC and possibly going heroic. Yeah, pretty soon. He is at the armory right now, and having a pop, he should be advancing pretty soon. Yeah, right now he just cancelled the Willy, which should result in heroic pretty soon. On the right side, though Iceball has been forced into his base, but since he already has towers, he doesn't really need to worry about it all that much, because yet again, this army is not that strong, and with proper micros, 7-up SL should be able to defend him without all that much trouble. Finally, a wall is cropping up in the middle, and that's right now by PK. But Frost shouldn't really underestimate it and should be going there as well. And well, here we see a pretty decent trade from TVB, who has been able to get, well, all across the map onto the other side of the map and stop in Swoop DE from capturing second TC, which is a pretty good play and really not good luck for Swoop. Right now, even though TVB is in Heroic, this is not going to go all that well for him. This is going to be a pretty decent fight, and he needs to retreat even with the birdie, because there's a lot of hero Turmas, well, 3 of them, but it should be more than enough, especially with the rest of them, if he has enough resources to supply some extra heroes. So this fight should be coming for Eisenstange if he doesn't screw it up somehow, but we see flaming weapons on the right side, where Icy Ball is trying to push with his ally 7-up SL against the heroic age Swiss boy, who is employing some siege towers and hoping to go into offensive here, even though he is more or less alone, because he doesn't have the army yet. And well, this is slightly unfortunate, because this will disrupt the Migdol, and he maybe should have just sacrificed some of this army, because he needs the Migdol, and right now he has forced himself into pretty bad battle against flaming weapons, and that's going to hurt quite a lot. And he actually helped Icipol quite a lot not to waste his hero power. So let's see how this will go. The Migdol is finally up, so that's a very important point in this game right now for Swiss boy, because he has been able to capture this gold pretty much. And well, yes, PKs have to retreat, and I'm kind of thinking that these flaming weapons weren't all that great, and really, he might possibly miss the Icy Ball later on. Right now though, he has a pretty decent amount of picks, 5 picks, so he might just want to disengage and possibly go for some TC raiding, as that could do quite a lot of damage, especially considering that Swiss boy right now in his base doesn't have anything, and Yellow has all his army inside the middle. And well, they will need help, because right now Eisenstange is playing this pretty well, not really engaging with all the armies from purple. Okay, there are actually non-armies, so he doesn't have to engage anything, but well, he is forcing some release of this gold, I think, a moment earlier, and doing pretty well himself in the defense, or especially in his base, moving into 3 TCs. And well, Red is at 3 also. Icy Ball is just at 1 still, and the TC advantage is most definitely right now in Frost side. It doesn't seem like Eisenstange is moving anywhere with his army, and even though TVB is switching into Archive, that's not exactly the best unit against heavy Turmas here, because Turmas have a pretty good bonus against archers. And this army, even though they are Turmas, is right now getting a bit scary for TVB, I have to say, and he really has to be careful with the composition that he puts up. Eisenstanger right now is though switching into Archive himself, and he is not really supplying enough army fast enough. He was just kind of maybe hoping that he can get rid of this army into better composition with the archive and whatnot. And right now he is moving into offensive on the left, trying to catch those two wheelies and possibly somehow destroy the palace and go for the DC, which is not a bad idea at all and might help him. At the back, we can see that TVB is still having some raiding party here, trying to protect the TC and not letting Swoop D capture it all that easily. But Swiss Boy is already with some pretty decent army inside Icy Pole's base, and well, he is having all kinds of troubles because I don't see all that many army from him. Yeah, those heresies are just now finishing second DC, but he needs quite a lot of army at this point, and I'm kind of thinking he will be having quite a hard time defending himself.
I need help.
Yeah, right now saying that he needs help, and well, 7-up SL will be slightly slow, right now retreating with all his army, but really, the DC might fall before that happens, and the army wasn't really all that bountiful on anything. Well, he might be stretched a bit too thin around all the bases here. We see some okay, locust here, killing a bit of a release, and most importantly, they are preventing. Well, actually, yeah, they are not preventing. Repairing of the DC, of course, because that would need some extra units. And well, those mythical spawns are quite lucky here for Icy Paul, because they are exactly what he needs. And to defend against this siege tower spam, or spam. Well, these were just 3 siege towers, and even though the DC is right now down, which is at least slight victory for Swiss Boy, he has lost all his army, and 7-up SL is finally in the right spot to defend. That is, oh yeah, finally going on the biggie raiding. That was why I have seen that the TC has gone down for Swoop DE, and he has lost even the one at the back, so he's right now at 0, and yeah, this is exactly what Icy Pole should be doing with the piggies, and it's really paying dividends at this point. On the left side, we have seen that 7-up SL had some extra army here, and he left some Chero Ballista to support TVB, and he is right now going for that third TC, which should be coming up, because you can see that yellow is not really advancing. And he might want to actually get rid of those Turmas, because right now they are just kind of dead meat, because in the heroic fighting they're not really good anymore, and he needs something better. He needs something better, so right now this should probably be an engagement that he wants to take, Eisenstange. Not having really any upgrades. How's it looking for TVB? Not having anything either. Now let's have a look. How's it looking in the base of Icy Pole? Well, he has rebuilt the TC without any problem, it seems. Not having any upgrades either. And the red baseline, so that's pretty nice. And Swiss Boy, nothing. Swoop D also nothing, so only 7-up SL is having some upgrades at this point, and I'm kinda waiting for the Russ Swiss Boy to capture his 30C, which is what he's attempting at this point, and jump into Mythic, and then unleash his mythical power and the proper upgrades, and well, all the Russian shenanigans that he can go for. So this battle seems to be developing into proper 2v2. And well, so far it's doing pretty well due to Icy Pole's extra mythical units. They are really pretty hard at this point for both Swiss Boy and Swoop D to deal with, so I would kinda welcome some extra priests here, but Swiss Boy is employing some building spam, and Migdol covering this extra gold and being so close to the opponent base is pretty crucial at this point, because it's a point to retreat to, and also to reinforce the dwindling units quite a lot faster. Right now it seems like that Green is fighting pretty much by himself. Yeah, having double Migdol here, so he is basically camped there. And right now Swoopy should be thinking about actually building some extra military in the forefront, because right now he's just sending everything from like the other half of the map, which is not helping at all, as you can see. And well, this could actually cost Swiss Boy some of those Migdols here, because he will be having a hard time defending by himself. 7-up right now in Mythical Age, I think he's the first, yes he is. And on the left side it seems like the battle is, yeah, kinda slightly going for TVB, but I don't really think anything decisive right now. And it seems like Swiss Boy is making a Migdol on the left as well as a proper pocket, so he will be able to switch from the left side to the right, or rather from the right to the left, according to needs. So far though, TVB is doing pretty well, having copper shields, and well, not the same can be said about Eisenstange. And losing this palace at this point, I'm gonna have a look at the TCs. We see some advances into Mythic or whatnot. Nothing for either the pocket or the left player. I don't really see anything for Swoop D yet either. So the next guy is going to be purple. Also not advancing, red is already advanced. And right now Icipolo is going for 30C. And maybe, well, no, nothing. Still no mythical age, just for the one player 7-up SL. The battler finally has switched into Frost's point of view, into better position, because finally Swoop has arrived with some reinforcements into the battle, or reinforcements, actually some units altogether. And they are doing pretty well at this point, and I'm not exactly sure why Red isn't making much more of an appearance. Oh, because he is from the left side, and he is making a very nice effort and taking down those Migdols, and he is right now succeeded, because this Migdol is not being defended at all. Right now, finally, Swoopy is sending some more Milos there, but it's going to be way too late, and this Migdol is going to fall, which is not ideal, but not really tragic for Swiss Boy, because he still has this Migdol, and right now he is popped anyway. So he's just right now in a position to go for some upgrades, which he still doesn't have, or advance into the Mythical Age, which might be slightly better, I think, as he could use something like Son of Osiris at this point, especially against the Loki, get rid of his pesky boars and whatnot. Right now, though, it seems like that the battle is more or less hanging in the balance of 7-up, who is the only one actually to make a difference here, with some baseline of upgrades. And, well, finally some Siege Tower also making an appearance, yet again in Icipolo's base. And do we see something interesting on the left? Well, not much. We just see that Eisenstange has been able to stop the attack from his purple opponent, who is still having a bit of an advantage in the upgrades here, but once this palace is up, or even before that, this could be a pretty much an even battle, especially considering that this birdie is almost dead. Yeah, right now, that was a pretty huge overkill. That was like all these yellow archi shooting at the one bird which had like 5 hit points. Okay, that was a bit of a waste, but still, it did the job. And right now, yeah, purple has to retreat because he doesn't have enough, and he's fighting under basically the base of his opponent, so the reinforcements would be a lot faster for Eisenstange. On the right side, it seems like that slowly but surely Swoopy together with Swiss Boy are pushing forward, and 7-up SL is not able to handle the enemies by themselves, and since I don't see all that many army from blue, I would kinda think that he might be saving up for the Mythical Age. Because really, I don't see anything from him. That's just a bit of Phillies here. And it seems like he is sending units more or less into the fray just as they are made, which might not be the best of ideas. Maybe it would have been best to actually wait for 7-up's army right now, like he has at this point, and well, then make some concentrated push. Finally, heavy chariots, and we have Hecate and Helios. So both PK on the left and Frost are doing pretty well, and we see some Titans already being researched by Eisenstange. Okay, so he's definitely aiming for it. And what's this guy? That's just some forgotten piggy trying to unsettle his opponents, which is not a half bad idea, as it could help. And yep, and this is the line of sight for the Tartarian gate, and maybe slight problems for yellow, because he would lose probably at least 3 or 4 manors, which is definitely a problem at this point. Also a spy here on the right. And not very good news for Eisenstange at all, because right now he's under attack from purple, so that was pretty nicely played, but he has been forced to use a Vortex to actually help himself. And was it really needed to Vortex for like this distance? Okay, it will do its job. It was maybe a slight overreaction at this point, but I don't think it's really going to matter all that much. He has pretty good defensible position in here, which should hold his opponents for at least a moment before he deals with the Tartarian gate. But still, it's just a lot of archers dealing with a building, which usually isn't all that great an idea. So Swiss Boy is not using Son of Osiris, but he went for Horus and the Tornado, and that's kinda better idea, I think. He might be keeping it for actually countering his opponent's Titan, which could be a pretty good idea, considering that yellow is already having Titan researched, and they could have an upper hand in the Titan battle, which could decide the game if played correctly. On the right side, it seems like the battle is still pretty much stalled. You see that this Migdol has been killed, but another one is already up yet again, and this is a pretty important switch right now for Swiss Boy, because he is switching into elephants, and I think that's exactly the correct unit that they need against all those Archai and whatnot, because that's going to be a proper tank unit right there. Yeah, there's some good radiant going on from Swoop.de, who is right now disrupting the trade route and actually trying to kill some of those military barracks which were being placed there to help his teammate in case he was under some heavy pressure, which might be coming because the Tartarian gate has been dealt with, and he will right now be having his hands free to deal with his opponents. Still no upgrades, unfortunately. Whereas purple is having a much better line of upgrades here, and yeah, better be careful, Eisenstein here, so that he doesn't lose, just because of that, as that could very easily happen. On the right battlefield, I'm just going to check for upgrades as well. Baseline for Dara, which is pretty good. 7-up is having also at least a bronze mail here. That's also pretty nice. Swoop.de, nothing, but at least heavy Murmilos and Hersirs of the blue player are having baseline and bronze shields. Okay, not bad. Not bad. So this battle is basically still at the same spot, and right now we see that another strategy is being used by Swiss Boy, and that's a tower spam. So they are right now thinking that they need to establish some forward base, which I think is pretty much the correct line of thinking, and right now TVB has Titan Gate as well. And that's basically what this either Tornado or the Vortex is going to be for. 7-up though is basically thinking along the same lines as his opponents, trying to secure the position here by having palaces here as a place to retreat to, and he is still supplying quite a lot of Archai into the battle, and they seem to be doing their job so far. But once we have the champion elephants here from the Agate, that could turn around, because those guys could be exactly the tank that they need in this battle. So we have a Titan Gate from red inside those two dry athletes to protect against the god powers, so that's not going to be any tornado, but probably yellow could switch there. But at this point, yeah, he is. And is he going? Yeah, he is going to the right side. I was just thinking that he might be wanting to finish his opponent, but since he sees that purple is not being able to defend him at all, this is also not a bad idea, because it means that on the left he doesn't have to worry about purple at all, and he can help his teammates to push through on the right side, and it might be the correct decision at this point. Swoop.de has cast some Tartarian Gate and on the right side, and that's probably going to mean the end of this Titan Gate, so no luck 7-up SL, this Titan is not going up, although the one on the left could be, because it's defended also, and I'm pretty sure that Eisenstange's Titan is gonna come up without all that much of a problem, because I don't really see a way how TVB or anyone else could really stop it. Maybe TVB can, because he should be having enough army, as he has still the vortexes if I remember correctly. Okay, he doesn't. That's 7-up actually, and 7-up right now doesn't have enough army, and he's having his hands full defending against the onslaught on his Titan Gate. This vortex from yellow is proven to be pretty powerful, as he is exactly the force that Frost needed on the right side to push through, and they are doing quite well indeed at this point. And well, let's see if they can stop the Titan Gate, because Tartarian Gate is off, and they are slowly eating inside the bases here, but still, it's just going to result into two players, just Swiss Boy with Swoop.de. And well, 7-up SL has proved that he is able to defend quite nicely, and since TVB is joining the fight as well, he has finally arrived from the left side to the right. Not really sure why the Oranoses aren't building sky passages, and well, right now we see finally that we are moving to the left, and yeah, Eisenstange's Titan is under attack, and 7-up SL, unfortunately for him, is not going to have enough, not nearly enough. You can see that yellow has much more army here, but it's also kinda, I think, to help himself protect the Titan Gate on the right. Yeah, this is pretty much decided. And I think it was just made to help 7-up SL defend against the attack on his own Titan Gate and prevent it prevent its collapse. So in that case, that was played pretty well, and you can see that the attack on the right wasn't successful enough, and right now Icepole is having quite a decent army, and he should be able to hold what is coming for him, because that's just a lot of siege towers without enough support there. Every player right now going for a Titan. We see that the on the left is already finished, on the right as well. This yellow should be finished. Oh well, should be. Well, yellow definitely has to hurry up, because this Titan is coming there pretty soon, and he will have to employ some creative pathing obstruction, I think. Otherwise, this just might get there in time. And right now you can see that 7-Up SL is going to not really kill it, but he is going to slow it down, which is basically what he is trying to do at this point, to give some extra time to the Titan from TVB, who is at a pretty bad spot. Yeah, it's just taking the absolutely worst route through here. And well, even though this vortex wasn't strong, it's, I think, paying dividends, because it will slow down this Titan gate and might allow TVB to take it down. The middle one for Ra should be coming up without any problems, the right one also. And well, this should mean that the only player without a Titan is right now Red. Rather, Red, he of course is finished. Only one is Icepole, who isn't even Mythic at this point. And this should be, hopefully, for Eisenstange 3 versus 2 Titans, but he has to be careful really right now, because yeah, right now we can see that he is employing some extra buildings here so that he can hopefully stop this Titan from reaching the Titan gate, but I really don't see it surviving, because yeah, that was very well played, and the last vortex from 7-Up SL, I think it was the last one. No, it wasn't, it was actually just the second one, was very well played, and this will result in pretty much bad problem for Frost at this point. Even though the Titan will be at like half health and will be easy pickings for this Green Titan, it still means that one of them is not gonna go up, and if somehow Icepole can manage to pick up his own, they will be having the advantage in that. So very nicely played here from PK, I have to say. Very nicely played indeed, and a pretty bad time right now coming for Eisenstange, who is right now being hammered pretty hard, and it opens an opportunity for TVB to go slightly forward with some building spam, and also 7-Up SL is establishing himself in the middle, and that's a pretty good idea, as he will be able to push right into the middle of the trade route and possibly raid some Swiss boys TCs at this point. On the right side we finally see some full-on Titan battle, which is not going to go all that well for 7-Up SL for obvious reasons, because his Titan has already been quite hammered by the units of Frost, and this will mean that Swoobly's Titan will have quite enough health to actually level some of the buildings and the base of Icepole, I think. So Titan is almost dead. Yeah, it's just going to be the last hit, and goodbye. And 1700 health is quite enough at this point, so that he could be able to push through on the right side. So let's see if that will happen, because PK are most definitely pushing forward. Finally some sky passages, and Icepole is also in the mythical age, so he might not be far behind with his old Titan. On the left we see that the defense has been managed, and well, right now Swiss boy is just sketching this Titan from TVB, and Eisenstange should be having his hands full with the Icepole in the middle here, or rather 7-Up SL and both TVB on the left. Yeah, this is just making Swiss boy's Titan pretty much useless. That's not a bad idea at all. And he's just buying TVB time right now for his red ally to help him somehow capture the middle of the map, which is doing quite well with, but the extra mercenaries here is, I think, something he did not really anticipate for, and that could be all that is needed for Frost to defend successfully here. Eisenstange is already having quite a decent army and some extra siphons to take down the military buildings, and he's not doing half bad at this point, but the sky passage is pretty well placed, and since he can transport from the left side to the right, he's having quite nice opportunities to do anything he wants. So the Titan from Swoobly is finally moving forward into the attack here, and yeah, you could have taken a swing at this guy, building the hill fort here to at least stop it, but he is moving where? It seems like he might be going into the middle here, trying to destroy the walls and to maybe disrupt the trade route, which is pretty strong and very nicely going for PKs, and put 7-Up into some bad position at the same time. Yeah, purple right now has some extra army here. Well, it's not really all that much, but every unit literally counts in the later battles. And we see that Eisenstange, even though he has lost the battle for the Titan, is right now pushing on TVB. And TVB, it seems, has finally lost this Titan. And yeah, we see that Swiss boy, Asenegi, is going for a wonder right now. And the choice to go for Supremacy might have been the correct one for Frost. Yeah, I suppose right now saying that they should go for Wonder as well, which they probably should, but with advantage in the Titans, still PKs should be able to somehow put a stop to this Wonder if they play it correctly. Right now it seems like that 7-Up SL is pretty much over in the middle. Well, Icipol was trying to force him in there as well, and this is another tornado, and I'm not exactly sure if this is the best of ideas, because really they have to kinda make sure that they can put down the Titan that would be above them. And since they were basically easily winning this battle with the Titan, well, let's hope for Frosts that it's not going to come back and bite them, because right now they are winning in the middle, and on the left they seem to be winning as well, because Eisenstange is doing pretty well against this opponent TVB. Still not having best copper mail, but that's not really needed at this point, I think, and not really all that many upgrades for Eisenstange, which is severely curious at this point, because he should be having quite a decent echo, and well, he should be able to afford all the extra upgrades that he can get. Some extra Titans still from Swoop DE moving inside here and already having just 300 hit points, and I'm not exactly sure where he is moving, probably trying to disrupt the trade route, but is it really worth it as opposed to just getting rid of the TCs? Not all that sure. Especially that he's not really binding all that many army, and he is still 20 pop down for Swoop DE, and that's what's making the battle on the right side all that difficult for him. So the Titan is almost down. He will at least take this market with him. Yeah, that's going to be the last action in his life, and that's pretty much it. And Wonder is right now gone, and yep, 7-Up SL just now saying that he has a last Wonder, and yep, that's a proper tower span right there. So right now this is pretty much going to develop into Frost defending the Wonder at this point. And it seems like there's not going to be all that much happening until there's some decisive attack from 7-Up, who is right now sending quite a lot of units through the Sky Passage on the left side, and I'm gonna have a look on the right battlefield, but it seemed to be kinda stalled, and yes it is, that's just pretty brutal building spam altogether, and not even those 6 fire giants with the support of the ballistae are moving through fast enough. But they are slowly but surely advancing here, I think, and this battlefield is not going anywhere, and I think this would be a pretty good spot for Icipol to go for the Titan of his own. Yep, this is right now a double wall for 7-Up and Icipol, trying to make sure that they are not surprised, and Titan is right now being killed by just the huge amount of fire siphons here, and well, yeah, exactly, 7-Up right now asking Pops that he should be going for the Titan and go for Wonder. Yep. All buildings, all Pops here. That's exactly what should be happening, as on the left side yellow is not moving anywhere, even though this is a pretty huge amount of fire siphons which should be eaten into the palaces without any problems, but they will be vulnerable to just the willies at this point, and they are not going anywhere else. So yep, this is pretty much a stallish game. Pretty much a stallish game, and some extra units from purple, it seems, that are stuck in the DC and not doing anything at all at this point. Yep, that was some forgotten shockwave from yellow. Okay, not really doing all that much, just so that he can tick in that he has conjured all the hero powers, the god powers, and well, this is pretty nice artillery at this point from Icipol, who is using just those ballistae together with the fire giants to level all these buildings here. On the left side we can see that yeah, the Wonder is right now defended as much as it can be defended, but still 7-Up SL is doing pretty well getting through because he has basically a clear wave. He doesn't have to worry about anything. Both him and Blue are pretty much at the doorstep of their opponents, and they shouldn't be having all that much of a problem actually getting through here if they coordinate their efforts quite well. Yep, Ra is having the full upgrades here, which is pretty much the only player with that, I would have to say at this point. And well, Blue, yep, also pretty decent. Bronze weapons could be upgraded still, but otherwise that's pretty much it. And on the left side, it seems like Eisenstein is slowly but surely eating into his opponent, finally having some extra upgrades. And how's it looking for Purple? Having pretty decent upgrades himself, and he's just not dealing with the battle here. And it seems like that Eisenstein is going to win this battle on the left against his opponent. Right now it seems like we are seeing... Yep, oh, that's a pretty decent vortex. With how many? I don't really see it here, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah blah blah, about 9 fire siphons, and they could be able to take down this Wonder. But since the help of these mercenaries is not really far behind, it might be tight to close, but goodbye Wonder, and yep, you will have to go for attempt number 2. I'm not exactly sure if you will be given enough resources and enough time for that, because since you have developed into defending the middle, you have defending the water, you have kind of gave up the middle and the opportunity to get rid of it. And well, yep, right now it will be pretty good idea for Icy Pole to join the battle here and push together with 7-Up SL. And well, that's some battalion rams, or rather portable rams, attack here as well. And that's a huge surprise for the opponents, I would guess. Those mercenaries will definitely help in the battle here, but still, they will deal enough damage and force their opponents into quite a lot of defensive. And you can see already that on the left side this kind of resulted in 7-Up being able to help his purple teammate, and Yellow will not be having an easy time conquering his opponent on the right, or on the bottom. On the right side, Swoopy is right now not doing really all that much. He's just resorting to all that more building spam, which is not really working right now due to all the Palistay and the extra army for Icy Pole. But right now it seems like that the most battle will be happening in the middle here, as pretty much all the players are converging on the battlefield. You can see that Swoopy is with Boy with pretty much everything they have, and Wonder from PKs is right now making an appearance for them, and no god powers here, so Frost will have to somehow get there by themselves. And at this point I would kinda hazard a guess that they have no way of doing that, especially when they are in heavy defensive against the attack from their opponents. This seems to be a pretty strong push from Icy Pole, helped by his ally 7-Up SL, who is going for some very nice tower spam himself, and he has been able to actually kill a TC from Yellow, who is right now dropped to 2, and that means that TVB will be having quite a good time right now defending against him. Yeah, Ra will finish the Titan gain, not really, the Wonder faster than his opponent because of the empowerment. So still, there is some idea behind that, actually trying to defend yet another Wonder here, and well, we'll see if that's going to help. Finally, the Titan is being built by Icy Pole. That's the last one that right now Frost cannot really counter because the Tornado is already gone, and 7-Up is right now moving for a 4th TC, and right now they are disrupting trade route, which is very bad news for especially the Ra here, because once he loses access to gold, he won't be able to mercenary himself up. And, well, the battles won't be that easy for him. So once 7-Up is actually at 4 TCs. And... TVB finally, after like half the game, finally ejecting those units, and let's see where the heroes are going to go. Since the battle in the left is going pretty much in expected manner, let's see how these heroes are going to arrive at the battlefield and stop Swoopy East building spam, which they want, so they are, yeah, just going to die for their gods, and that's going to be pretty much it. Okay, yep, that was very well worth it, so goodbye units. and second dead, third dead, pretty much right now, not even taking down the Willy here. And let's have a look at the left side, where Sir Eisenstange is yet again making an attempt by TVB, but TVB is pushing forward slightly because he is having the DC advantage. Yellow is not able to clear 7-up from this one, and yet again PKs are in a pretty good position to somehow retake this game. In the middle, they are not losing at all. They are having pretty much an equal battle here. Right now, fighting Swiss boys, chariot archers together with the mercenaries, I think. Even though I don't really see them at this point. They are maybe engaged on the left side. Yep, they are just going from this TC, which has almost been killed by the fire siphons, you can see. And they are doing all they can to stop this TC from coming up, but really, it's not as much about 7-up actually taking the TC as about Eisenstange not having it, which allows Purple to somehow battle more efficiently against his opponent and potentially push forward and bind on the yellow armies on the left side. So the Wonder has been finished first by half a minute for Swiss Boy. So PKs will have to hope that they can push through fast enough, which they might. They just might, but right now we can see that Swoopy is doing pretty well, and it will probably come down to the Titan from the right side, go into the Wonder as fast as he can. He will probably pick the route through the middle because it's pretty much free, and well, that's a lot of wheelies. That's probably the answer of actually trying to build this TC and all those towers, and it seems like 7-up SL at this point is having quite strong echo. He just doesn't need all those wheelies. That's like half of his amount, 21 wheelies, and yep, that's basically something like what you see in sometimes in Age of Empires, Spanish villager war, and well, right now let's see if this will work for 7-up as he hopes it will. Yeah, 7-up right now asking for resources because he has basically handicapped this economy altogether. And is it really worth it? Right now he's losing quite a ton of units, even though it might be worth it if he can establish the position here fast enough. At the bottom, still the battlefield not really moving anywhere. You can see that purple together with yellow are locked heads in without anyone moving just an inch. As the battlefield still near this gold mine, and well, not much going on, just trying Eisenstange maybe to push through the right side, but he won't be really all that successful as another palace is coming up by TVB. The Wonder is right now at 7 minutes, while the Titan is right now up. Right now, and well, let's see, that's going to develop for Icy Pole at this point. 7-up is right now sending this legion of villagers to finally capture the TC, and I think that at this point they should finally succeed, even though let's not be hasty, because somehow Swiss Boy is having just the correct unit at this point of the map, this place, the elephants here, and they might be the correct ones, but they are sending in the mercenaries slightly too late, and the TC will be up, and that will be a huge boost for 7-up at this point, because he will be having some extra army that he can use against his opponents. At the same time though, you can see that Eddies are the exact right unit from Swiss Boy when he switched from chariots into elephants to punish their opponents, and right now they are defending quite successfully without any problem whatsoever. And still just heavy archive. Really waiting for the champions here or whatnot. Full upgrades here. Red having champion fanatics and full upgrades. Someone else here. Yeah, TC wasn't really long-lived, so it seems like that 7-up hasn't really used the advantage all that fully, because I don't really see all that many units anywhere by him, really. So that's kind of disappointing at this point of the game. And the Titan is almost there, just in the middle of the map, and he's still having 5 minutes, so he could take it down, but at the same time, the position right now is not all that great for PKs, because they are at the defensive, they are not the one pushing. Not the ones pushing, and they might be finding themselves at slightly the worst position to actually somehow stop him in coming through. On the left, full upgrades, yep, from yellow and purple, also full upgrades, so finally we see a pretty much an equal battle and still fighting at pretty much the same spot, archer against archer, one hero, one destroyer here, some extra fanatics here, and not much else going on. And you can see that Swiss Boy has finally recaptured the TC, so that's finally equal as well. And Titan is really the only chance. And yep, Icy Ball mustn't mess it up. And he is already having 500 hit points less. And let's see if he can get through Wonder right now. That's just going to be a race with time and both hit points, because if he can't get there fast enough, right now finding pretty good ways through, and he would be killed sooner than getting in the Wonder Age. It's still 14,000 hit points. So if he can't get there fast enough and he will dealt damage to him before that, yeah, that won't be all that great for him. So right now moving forward, and he's getting damn close, and he has a pretty clear way to the right side. Yeah, exactly. There is like a highway to the Wonder. And yep, that's going to be an easy way through. And even though there is creativity in some of those trade camos here, they are not really going to last all that long. And Titan is almost there. Yeah, moving inches. Come on. One stomp, second stomp. And that should be one hit. One hit into the camos, and you should be moving a bit closer yet again. Yep, and he is at the Wonder. Wonder is right now getting damage, and since he has 3 minutes and the Titan is at half health, yeah, that's goodbye Wonder. He shouldn't survive that, and that should be coming for them, even though I might just be wrong, because the Titan is losing hit points quite fast. And let's see, let's see how that will develop. Something else happening on the map? Not really. Yellow with purple not moving anywhere, and really nothing else happening anywhere else. This is just the last battle for the whole game, and it seems like that the Titan is coming down too fast, and he won't be able to kill the Wonder fast enough before he dies. 1500 hit points. 5,500, and yeah, he's not going to take it down anytime soon, especially right now that Swiss Boy has started repairing the Wonder, and well, that was the last Hail Mary for Icy Pole, and no, he's not going to do it, and Titan, just when he falls, it's going to result in a chain of resigns, I think, because that's pretty much it. And goodbye, Titan is down. He has taken it damn close, just 1,000 left, and maybe if those guys weren't repairing, it might have been done. But right now, these guys are just caught in a pretty bad moment, and they should have been sent that earlier, before the Titan was killed, because they would have free time to walk inside the range and would have been able to kill it. Right now it's still 2.5 minutes, and it's still 1500 hit points, so if somehow can PKs push, I don't know, something in there, they could be able to do it, but they don't really have the means. Swiss Boy is the only Ra here, so he can have the ability to rock drop, but well, yeah, why would he rock drop enemy units on himself? Like, it could really work. Real man play Conquest. Alright, but it was damn close, that was damn close, and really almost worked. And even though the Titan had a freeway basically to the Wonder, the huge hit points, that was enough to actually stop the Titan from coming through. Right now you can see that the middle forward base is basically killed by Eisenstange's fanatics together with the Elise here, and yeah, Icy Ball is going to be pushed out, the same as 7-Up, and on the left, yeah, Purple is not going anywhere at all, and yeah, PKs are right now resigning, and Frost take the game by the virtue of the second Wonder that just stayed up. Well, GG, and it was a 50-minute game that ended in some pretty interesting manner, and really, it was just a matter of a few extra hits by the Titan. Okay, we can see that guy is here, and we will be playing with him the second game. Let's have a look at the post game in this time. In the meantime, and that's quite a lot of gold here by TVB, even though he wasn't an Eggy. That's literally a ton of gold, considering he was an Eggy. And he was sending quite a lot of these resources as well to his allies, probably to 7-Up SL. But, well, it didn't really work out in the end. Well, that's a pretty decent military count and also units killed, but pretty similar for Swiss Boy here. $230 archive. Not bad numbers, not bad numbers at all. Well, that was a pretty huge hit at yellow, at civilians here. You can see that he dropped quite a lot. And that wasn't a very nice time in the game. And same could be said for red here, who lost quite a ton of villies here. Well, here as well, but that was just at the end where he sent like 25 villies to actually build the towers and the TC. Yeah, 7,500 food at the end for Swoop DE. Same with wood and gold, well, also quite a few thousand, and 60,000 gold for blue. All right, they did have enough. GG.